and it's my friend Nikki. Nikki, who I just found out, I've been pronouncing yours and your husband's last name wrong for I don't know what the better part of a decade now.
For sure, a decade.
So I don't know how I introduced you on the live show because who knows what I'll do in 2 days. Um, but yeah, I was probably going to try to announce you as Nikki Mikolich, my good friend Nikki Mikolich, tennis wonder Nikki Mikolich. But that's not who you are at all. You're all those things. You're the tennis wonder, but you're Nikki Mikolich, and I found that out
Yes.
this morning in a text message. And I got to tell you, I'm a little mortified. Like I'm embarrassed that I had your last
No.
name wrong.
Oh, there's people I've known far longer that get it wrong. There's people that my husband, who has had the name his whole life, have gotten it wrong. Like I at least married into it, so I'm like, it's fine. It's
Understandable. Anyway, so my friend Nikki, who I didn't, yeah, I just don't even know you if I don't know your name, I
nope.
guess. Anyway, we're talking about tennis in the land,
Yeah,
and or at least presumably so on the live portion of the show. We're talking about tennis in the land now. Who knows what's really happened or how we've gotten off
we'll get
topic
there.
or out of context? It doesn't matter. But you have some experience, and I first of all just tell everyone, tell our listeners, our viewers, whoever, if they're listening or watching, just kind of let them know why I decided to bring. Like, you have a very extensive tennis history, and I don't know that I would even be able to come close to highlighting that. So you tell everyone who's watching or listening right now, just tell them what your history is in tennis for.
I have a very long history of tennis, and that could take this entire time if I told it to you. Going back to my 8-year-old self, crossing her arms, pouting on the court, saying, "Mom, I don't want to do this anymore," until I got back into it actually for high school. So I played all through high school, won the conference, all that fun stuff. Um, Now as an adult, so I took time off. As an adult, I came back to it,
Mhm.
which coming back to a sport, I'm sure you know this, coming back to a sport after taking time off is wild. It
Yeah,
is not how you left it. It is not how you remember it, not even in yourself, but in just like moving, shifting
yeah,
from like a high school to a college to,
yep.
um, so as an adult, there's like rec league tennis basically. So it's like there's all different levels. You basically play against your own level. Um, the nice thing is that it is kind of weirdly formatted like high school.
Okay.
So like I have a team that just won states. So like it's so funny as like a 30 something year old adult to be like, my team won states. And they're like, you're not 18. So I don't know how that works.
Right. It's
um,
feels like an Uncle Rico thing. I'm here for it. I love it.
For sure. It totally and it totally is. And these
I love it.
some of these ladies are, whew,
I
they're
bet. Well, you know
something.
how some of the people get and listen, we've played plenty of co-ed softball games together. You know how people get. I mean,
Yes, I
when
do.
there's a t-shirt on the line, Nikki Mikolich, it gets serious. I'm gonna say your name a lot to make
I
sure I
know you're like, I'm committing it to my memory now. Um,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
so yeah, so I play all the time. Like I have a coach, I play in leagues. I am highly involved in the way the leagues get run in Northeast Ohio, which is cool. I'm on like a
Yeah,
committee that's supposed to I'm the chair of the committee for adult tennis.
it's really cool.
Um, and then I'm also the marketing director for a different tennis situation. I have a really good friend and a coach who he is an incredible tennis player, came out of college. Once you get that good, and this is something you probably understand with baseball, once you get that good and then you want to come back to the sport, there's not a ton of opportunities to come back to your sport with like-minded competitive people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can't play in it, but I'm the marketing director for a company called 1MB Series, where it's
Okay.
basically recruiting previous college level tennis players to get back together and play again and make tennis fun again while still being competitive. So
Okay. Okay.
half tennis, half beer drinking, if that is more fun.
I feel like yeah, those are two good half things to put together and get a whole thing. I think that sounds like a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
because I mean, once you get to that level, there isn't much for them. So like me, I'm average to higher player, I guess, if you want to quantify it.
Okay.
Um, I have opportunities to play wherever I want. Those guys don't. So, marketing
Gotcha.
director for that.
Cool. Cool.
And then, yeah, I'm just around the courts all the time. Tennis in the Land came. I went 3 different days. I stalked all the results. I got to go to the Women in Business Forum that Tennis in the Land put on.
Really cool.
If there's tennis in Cleveland, I'm probably somehow there or involved.
I
That was
love
the
it.
most long-winded answer ever, but hey, I gave it all to you.
I mean, we needed all the information, right? We want to know why you're here, and now we know that you're an absolute authority. Like I feel like I have Monica Seles on the show right now. Uh,
I
I
wish.
mean, I'm sweating like I'm nervous. Feel like I'm nervous. It's also probably I don't know 90 degrees
I was
today
gonna
when
say
we're
it's
doing this
kinda hot
interview, and
out.
I'm
I
upstairs in the studio. So, but no, I feel like I'm nervous talking to you now. I don't even know your name.
Fun. No, it's fun. And you know what's cool is like with tennis in Cleveland, you can be as involved or as not involved as you want. So like I also didn't even throw in there that I went to nationals 3 times in the last 6 years by
That's fairly
myself.
important. You honestly, so I've been like kind of I live vicariously through your tennis successes. Like I see your Facebook posts. I don't always text as much as I want to. Even if I did, you probably wouldn't get them. It's Android, the iPhone thing. Anyway,
And
if you have an Android and you've ever texted anyone that you know with an iPhone, you probably know what I'm talking about. It's ridiculous.
mhm,
But yeah, you suffered an ACL tear. No,
sure did.
pretty
Sure
serious
did.
injury, and came back from that and won some pretty serious tennis tournaments. No,
Yeah, so, yeah, you were actually one of the most like it sounds weird to say you were one of the best cheerleaders, but you were one of, like, the kindest people to me because I tore my ACL in 2021.
yeah.
I got back for my first match in 2022, and then in 2023, I got 3rd at nationals.
I
So,
mean
like,
that
it was,
speaks
like, a
volumes.
very wild comeback, like,
Yeah.
let's take the pat on the
We'll
I
run the applause on the show at this point. This is where you'll get
I mean, it's true, like, you don't realize, like, how much you love something, like, I knew I loved tennis, and I knew it kept me in shape, it kept me social. You don't
yeah.
realize how much you love something like that until you, like, blow your knee out mid-match, no less,
Yeah.
and then are like, "Okay, I need to come back."
No, I know. Yeah, I can't leave it like this. Like you can't yeah, you're
No,
a competitor. And not to the point where like you yell at umpires on every pitch during a co-ed softball game. I've seen that too. But yeah, I mean, no, you're a competitor. And I think part of being a competitor is like you're very competitive with yourself. No, like you want
for
to
sure.
yeah, you just want to prove to yourself that like, hey, I can do this again. It's
Totally.
probably akin to how I felt after my shoulder surgery. Like I just wanted to prove to myself that I could go stand on a mound, throw a ball to a catcher, and have a hitter not hit it really hard somewhere and like be effective again. You know?
Right,
Um,
I was gonna say that's it's sad that we bonded over an injury and then returning to sport, but, like, you
yeah,
really find your people that, like, understand because it's very, like, I don't know, like, you feel very alone in some of those moments because not everyone gets it, so I wish you didn't get it like I did, but
yeah,
definitely being a competitor and getting hurt and,
mm,
surgery and all that fun stuff.
yeah.
Now we're back, baby.
And just sometimes you get like the best comeback stories. You know, first of all, we have Sling Squad, right? Like that'll. I mean, remember Sling Squad,
Oh,
like the
I
bowling
do, I
alley?
do. I think it's
Yes.
still the picture on my phone for you guys.
So awesome. So I want to get back to tennis in the land because
Yeah,
I find it so easy to get off topic. It's really
it's
just
easy.
who I am as a person.
It's
Um,
also easier for us because we've been on the same softball team and we've known each other for the better part of a decade, maybe more than a decade now. It has to be.
more, yeah. I mean, probably 2012, 2011.
Whoa, that's gross. Yeah,
Those feel
probably
like bad
12?
numbers. Yeah.
No, but anyway, topics. We're
Topic.
here.
Yes, we were talking about some sport, tennis. I remember now.
Tennis.
I do want to get back to tennis in the land, and I just want to kind of like I guess we've been talking about it for 2 years on the show now. This will be the second year that we've covered it. I think it's first of all, I think it's really cool that we have the top ranked women's tennis players in the world, like right here in our backyard, pretty much guaranteed every summer.
Yes.
It's amazing, you know. So I just want to find out things from you, like just like what is the like what's the atmosphere down there, and is everything kind of easy to get to? Like once you, because I think people have concerns of like sometimes when you go to the aquarium, it's right behind the aquarium,
Yeah.
right? Like yeah,
Yeah. Well,
then
now
when we
it's
go
in
there, it's
front
tearing
of it.
apart. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Now it's in front of it. So it
Oh,
used to
okay,
be in I don't even know what it's called anymore, the pavilion, Jacobs
yeah,
Pavilion.
Jacob's
They
Pavilion. No,
moved it out
okay,
and built up different courts. Yeah,
gotcha.
so ease of getting to things, I understand how if you're a person who looks at a map and looks at where you're going, it would be like, "Oh, that seems kinda like a pain in the butt."
Yeah,
However, they do a really great job because there's that one giant parking lot, 4 windows, and all of like, windows on the river, the aquarium, all of that.
yeah,
That is literally the only parking lot you need. You can get to everything from just there,
okay,
and it's I will say in I've gone every year. I've either volunteered or gone every year. It's
that's awesome.
stories I have are wild.
Awesome.
Um, it has gotten more accessible and more like the ease of viewing has gotten better every single year. Like they've only made improvements, which is
Awesome.
really amazing to say because in some different tournaments, you'd think they almost kind of like phone it in and they're like, this
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
People
Too
figured it
big to
out.
fail, right? Yeah, we just do our thing and people are gonna
Yeah.
come. Yeah, yeah.
And they have really done a good job. Every year it has gotten better. It's
Good.
everything's easier to see, easier to navigate. The signs are more obvious. It's awesome.
Cool, cool. Obviously the play is, I mean, it's I don't know, it's top of the line. I mean, like I said,
It's
it's the top ranked
it's
women's players in the
insane.
world.
Yes. I mean, we have Grand Slam winners. Like it's
Right.
just you never know. It's funny that you and I just talked about injuries and coming back to sport because of
Yeah,
things like that. You never know who Cleveland's going to get
yeah.
because Cleveland is the last stop before the US Open. So,
Okay.
like, you have some players jumping into wild cards to play in Cleveland just to, like, get match ready because maybe they
Little
had an
tune
injury.
up.
Like, Sophia Kenin came and played in Cleveland. Layla Fernandez came and played in Cleveland, like, this
Yeah,
year because they just it's a tune-up tournament. Like, it's
mhm,
Cleveland. I love Cleveland. I love our tournament. It's never going to be the venue to have this gigantic thing. That's not what it's for.
right, right.
But you get these stars dropping in because they just need an extra week of practice or an extra few matches to feel ready for the US Open, and, like, as Clevelanders, we will take them, we will host them, and
Yeah,
we will send them on their way like little birds, like, just
absolutely.
enjoy your time coming through Cleveland. So it's cool. I mean, the coolest part about, like, getting to see these high level players is you are so close.
Yeah,
Like, I've been to Cincinnati, which is another very approachable large tournament, which, of course, Cincinnati, you are getting the huge names. There are it is men's tennis and women, so you're getting everybody. But
gotcha.
with Cleveland, you, like, can touch people. Like, it is kind of insane. Like,
Yeah.
you go to all of these different
But I feel
tournaments
like
and
that's Cleveland versus a lot of other sports cities, right? Like,
yes,
it's so
totally.
on par, right?
It is funny how the tournament is such a reflection of Cleveland, like, it is so approachable, but underrated.
Yeah,
Everyone is super kind, but super welcoming, but
yeah,
there's still so much to offer, like, it's crazy. Like,
yeah,
going to Cincinnati, it's always talked about as like, "Oh, you're so close. Oh, why wouldn't you go to Cincinnati if you can't afford to go to France or London?" All these things, like,
yeah,
Cincinnati has this beautiful tournament.
yeah,
You think that that's close, and then you go to the Cleveland, the tennis in the land, and you're like, you don't know what close is
right.
until you come to Cleveland, like, and
True.
there's days I mean, the day sessions, they're not overwhelmingly full, which makes sense, it's like a weekday, kids are back to school, like,
Yeah.
you could literally just pop in and grab a ticket, and even the worst ticket is so close and such a great view that, like, you could just show up and have the best experience. Like, it's just wild.
It's really cool, and I think that's, like, something that you said. I mean, like you said, it's just so on par with what Cleveland is as a tournament.
Mhm.
We try to talk on the show. We try to highlight a lot of different women's sports, because I feel like sometimes, they don't get highlighted as much as they should, quite frankly.
We need the help.
And I like the fact that it's just, I like the fact that it's the women only. The tournament is a women's tournament.
Mhm. I think there's something so undervalued, I guess I'll say, about the energy that women bring to sports, and I
Yeah,
think that when talking about, like, women's college softball, all of that,
yeah,
of course, like, we all watch men's sports are everywhere, but, like, the
sure.
women bring such, like, an intensity and such, like, a camaraderie that, like, of course, guys are guys, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, nice shot, man," like, they're excited,
Right.
but, like, girls and women, I feel like, are so much more emotional in an amazing way. Like, for
Yeah.
years, I mean, I'm a woman athlete. I've been told having emotions is a negative,
Hmm.
but I think that it's so not noticed about how amazing the emotions really make the sports and really make all of these things. Like a contentious game, like watching those girls lose their minds and like run out onto the field,
Yeah.
run out onto the court. I mean, as an adult, my team that just so I won states with a tennis team, It
Yeah.
literally felt like college tennis, and we're all adults. Like, I mean, some of my teammates were still in college, so,
Right.
it
Right.
still counts. But, like, our player won the match for herself, won for our entire team. We sprinted across 3 courts. Like, you just can't like, of course, men are still gonna do that, but women are just we're better at it, man. Like
I don't disagree with you at all. I don't disagree at all. I think men, and I don't wanna, like, call out men, but I mean, sometimes come on, we need to be called out a little bit, right? Like, I think when we're on a team and we win a championship, we're like we're happy, but we see the personal gain in it, right? Like,
Yeah,
I feel like, for the most part, but I do. I feel like you can watch. Like when I watch the Women's College World Series, it feels like I'm watching someone's family. Like it feels like the Oklahoma
totally,
softball family against the Arizona softball family. Like it doesn't feel like
totally.
a bunch of people from Rhode Island and Connecticut and Texas and Maine or wherever. I don't know why I went so
Yeah,
heavy on the East Coast there, but um, yeah, I just feel like you can feel it feels like family, and that to me, like all the best teams that I've been on have felt like a family, and I think maybe that's why I
totally.
gravitate toward it. You know,
Yeah,
um,
totally.
I just like the level of play too. I like the fundamental technicality of it. You know, sometimes guys, whatever, you throw 103 miles an hour in the big leagues, and whatever, you just throw the ball by people, and it's sloppy, and it's not whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's okay. It's really hard to hit because the ball is going super fast. I get it, but I mean, there's like there's just a I don't know. There's a technical soundness. I don't know if that's a word or if that's a
Yeah,
phrase, but I made it
yes,
one. That's just really underappreciated, I think, when it comes to women's sports, like the fundamental, like in basketball, for instance, like the passing game, the ball movement. It's just also amazing. It's also amazing to me.
totally agreed.
Yeah. So whatever. That's me, I guess. Okay. So, and then I want to talk about this too. You actually got an opportunity to play
Yeah.
on the actual courts for tennis. And I don't, there's what two match courts, like one main court, and then some practice courts, right? Is that how it's set up?
So, 3 match courts,
Okay. Okay.
1, like, stadium court, as it's called, and then
Right.
2, like, side match courts, and then there's also practice courts. So, I actually
Okay.
got to play on one of the side match courts.
So cool.
Which, I mean, so there's a company called UTR that they basically make like a I don't know how to put it, like a rolling rating. So, like, you can at any point log into, like, their site, and all of your play automatically is uploaded to them so you can find, like, your exact people to play. So they put on this whole event, and they're
Gotcha.
like, "Oh, yeah, if you win, you can come play on a match court." And I was like, "Well, that's cool." Of course,
Oh,
I didn't win. My friend won, and she was like, "Well, you're coming." And I was like, "I'll take it."
okay. Yeah. Of course.
Um, it
What an
was
amazing opportunity.
it was so wild. Like, it was not only from, like, getting to stand on the court, which, like I said, I volunteered. So I've gotten to pretty much walk tennis in the land in every aspect. I've been in every crevice that there is.
It's really cool.
There's still something wild about, like, having the racket in your hand and walking onto a court and just, like, looking around at, like, Cleveland looking so good, being
Yeah.
like, "Dang, like, professional tennis play like, the professional women are playing right here, like, this is their view.
Yeah.
This is their court. They are
Really
playing
cool.
matches here to, like, win money in advance." Like, it was wild, and
So cool.
even more wild, the court was different. Like,
I was gonna ask you about. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So, in Northeast Ohio, and I mean in USTA, US Tennis Association, where we all play,
Yeah.
there's clubs, I mean, it's like ba ball fields, like, you have home, you have away.
Yep.
We all know the different clubs for, the my home club, everyone says the courts are fast. So that
Okay.
means, like, the way that they're surfaced is, like, super flat, the ball moves faster. If you have a big serve, it's bigger. If you have a big forehand, it's faster. It's just how it is. There's
Gotcha.
courts
Okay.
downtown at Cleveland State that are slow. If you
Okay.
go, like, touch the court,
A
it's
little
grippy.
spongier.
No, it's grippy. It's like
Oh, okay.
sandpaper.
Okay.
So when your ball hits, the surface grabs
Oh,
the ball more and
get
slows
it.
it down and just changes the dynamic, which
Okay.
it's so minuscule, like, the differences, but, like, when you play all the time, you figure it out. The
Muscle
women
memory is
are
a crazy thing, and when you get something different, you're like,
yes,
"Whoa."
so no, the courts for tennis in the land, which I do know that tennis in the land has gone through it in terms of making sure their courts are perfect
Yeah.
because when they were in the pavilion, they had issues with their stadium court not being up to like the standard or
Okay.
something. Like it just wasn't I don't think it was anyone's fault. I just think the way that
Yeah.
it was to get it done was like really difficult on them and it was really difficult on
Fair.
everybody, which is why they moved
Yeah.
it out of there.
Yeah, and I just think that's really cool. So you got the opportunity to play. The courts were a little bit different. There was some local flair there, and I keep thinking, like, I keep looking at the player lineup, like, when am I going to when am I going to see my friend Nikki in this? Like, she eventually she's going to make it, right? Like, she's going to play in this. But
I
no, there was a girl
wish.
from Cincinnati. There was a girl from Gates Mills. Um,
Yes, Lauren
again,
Davis.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah. I was,
she's
yeah, I was trying
amazing.
to look at, yeah, I was trying to look at all the local flair. I'm like, listen, if the top women's tennis players in the world aren't enough to do it for you, like maybe you want to watch some local talent, and we've got that too.
For
I just,
sure.
yeah, I just think it's really, really cool.
I mean, it's crazy too, like even just from the level of like watching good tennis, even if you don't understand tennis,
Mhm.
it's such a fun atmosphere. It's in such a cool spot being right in the flats. And then like for you would imagine most people going at least like love sports. That's why they're there.
Mhm.
Like the girl who won the entire thing was a wild card. 4 of her matches went to a third set. So like they play best 2 out of 3, but like she went to a third set. And then I think it was 3 out of those 4 matches, she lost the first set and came
Wow.
back and won the match. Like, even if you aren't, like, a huge tennis person, like, the grit and everything that it takes to, like, watch an athlete grind through 3 sets,
Yeah.
especially from a losing, like,
Yeah.
start. I
Yeah.
mean, McCartney Kessler, I watched her play her first or second match there, and I was like, "Dang." I was like, "I don't know her because I didn't know her." I was like, "She's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder how she's gonna fare in this tournament." And then it made me even more engaged. And
Yeah.
then she won the whole thing, and I was like, "I it's crazy." Like, I don't know how else to draw people into it. Like, it's just,
It's so cool. It's such a cool
"Go
thing.
have
I
a
can't
drink on the
believe.
water, watch
Yeah.
tennis."
It's right there. I mean, it's literally the West Bank of the Flats. I mean, it's what it's just it's tailor made to be. It's perfect for Cleveland. It
Mhm.
really is perfect. It's like a small, intimate thing,
Yeah.
but it's really so big. Like it should be a bigger deal than it is, and I wish it was.
It's
Um,
for sure. It's like going to a concert, like an intimate concert of an artist you absolutely love, and you're
yeah,
way closer than you have any business being.
yeah.
Like it's just
And you
it's
just
so
think you want to be in an arena with 100,000 people, but this was such a cool experience, like,
yes. Like,
that's what I liken it to,
of
yeah.
course, tennis fans wanna go to Wimbledon. Like, of course, we wanna go to the US Open, but, like, there's so much to be said for players that have played Wimbledon, played at the US Open, and they come to us in Cleveland.
Yeah, on
And
purpose.
it's not like they're not good. Like, it's not like
Yeah.
they come to Cleveland and they're like, "Oh, I'm just not gonna try." Like, they're
Yeah.
amazing.
No, it's not like there was, like, an illness on the flight and their flight got turned around, and, "Oh, we gotta land in Cleveland, might as well play in this thing anyway." Like, they want to be here. They wanna be in Cleveland, they wanna come compete. I wish we could send people out in droves to watch. I wish, I wish every match could be sold out. Um, I don't know. Maybe one day. Maybe one day we'll see that. But listen, it's been a great conversation. I've enjoyed talking to you. Just to catch up, really. But
Yeah,
it's
I
really cool
know.
talking about this. Yeah, it's just nice to catch up. Maybe we'll have to do this more often. But for me, I think it's so cool that I know someone that's so deeply involved with like the tennis scene in Northeast Ohio. I think that's really cool.
It is
Um,
neat.
so yeah, if I ever decide to, switch sports in my
Do
mid
it.
40s, yeah, you'll be the first person I text. I'll be like, hey, where do I go? What do I do?
Hey,
Um,
tennis is a lifetime sport. We'll have you anytime. Come on in, buddy.
Thank you so much for taking the time. Listen, we're gonna have you back on. We
Let me
can
know.
talk about other stuff. I mean, we can. I like having guests on. I like having people I like on. So it's made it really fun.
I know. I
Um,
was like, this was half tennis, half catch up. So sorry to
yeah,
everyone watching.
yeah. No mustard. Half tennis, half ketchup. No mustard.
Love that.
That was a terrible joke to end it on. But
I
we're
love
good.
it. No, don't leave it. Leave it. You better leave
We'll
it.
leave it. I'll leave it in. I'll leave it in just for you. The guest is always right. Right. Customer is always right. Guest is always right. And it's so anyway, before we go, I want to give you a minute because you aren't just like a tennis extraordinaire. Like you also do other things remarkably well. Please tell us about your business. We have to hear about the business. I have to hear about
All right. I mean, okay. So it's funny. I talk so much about tennis all the time that people are like, "Is that your job?" And I'm like, "No, I am actually a photographer." um,
it. An
so I
amazing
am.
one, by the way. An amazing one.
I'm, how I said mediocre co-ed softball player. I'll give myself like a above average photographer. I'll go there.
Please give yourself more credit than that. That's it's amazing. It's amazing.
Um, Yes, so I've been a photographer since, I mean, really my whole life, but made it an official business. I think now we're at 11 years that I've been official, probably since I've known you. So maybe you're a good luck charm,
Maybe I'll take that.
right?
I don't know that I've ever worked in that way for anyone else that I know, but I will take that from you. That's great. That's
Um,
fantastic.
yes. So I am a photographer. So basically, photographer by day, tennis player by like morning and night. um,
So you don't
yes.
sleep at all. There's
No,
no,
I don't. I really don't sleep, and I have a 5-year-old, so like their sleep is
yeah.
nothing.
Sleep is so
No, I
5
have
years ago.
a lovely company. I am called Copper Photo Company, Copper Photo Co. on Instagram. Um, Mostly weddings, families, corporate branding, like all that kind of stuff. So just like people based. But I love it. And it's funny how the tennis world and the photography world can be so intertwined. And that's why I'm partially the marketing director for a tennis company. So just I'm very, very lucky that I started my life in corporate America and I found my way out of it.
Yes.
So photography was my gateway out. And it has afforded me the time to play co-ed softball and meet people that have become lifelong friends. And I am super duper lucky. So
Awesome.
thanks.
Awesome. Well, listen, we're gonna get all the links up, websites, Instagram, whatever, anything that you guys have, we'll get it all up. We'll put it on the show. If you're watching our show and you're getting married or you have family pictures, anything, any reason, please contact Copper Photo.
I'm
You guys
here.
do an amazing job. They've taken our family photos,
Sure have.
stunning. They even made somehow me look okay in a picture, which is amazing. That's how you know they do an amazing job. So
Please.
that's how you know. Listen, Nikki, thank you so much, Nikki Mikolich.
Huh?
I love saying your new. That's not your new name. That's not a
I
new
know,
name at all.
but
It's
it
not
feels like it.
new to me. Yeah, it's new to
My
me.
rebranding.
Right, right. I love your rebranding. We've rebranded the show recently. It was the perfect
Yeah,
time to have you on. So perfect.
perfect.
Again, Nikki, thank you so much, and
You're welcome.
hopefully we'll talk
Thank
to
you
you
for
soon.
having me.
Of course, anytime.
Okay.
You're welcome. Anytime.
I was like,
You are.
anytime.
You're officially a friend of the show now. You're
Yay.
officially a friend of Come On Ref. You're a friend of the show. You're welcome anytime.